How is everyone doing today? I hope you are all well. Today we are going to work on location aware dialogue for a follower. Now, any dialogue needs to go through a quest. So the quest I'm using, I've made a lot of this is location NPC comments for this one here. That is my quest. So in the quest, you got to go to the miscellaneous tab. Over here, you create new, and you want to name it whatever you want, but you want to name it under idle. You can see what I've already done for Gellis Barkwing and Dirtyborn. This is just for her location dialogue. So before I even show you what we do, the first thing I'm going to do is show you an example. This is an example if she is in the Battleborn farm area. What she says.
The Battleborn farm. A woman named Gwendolyn lives here. She's a nice lady, but dumb as a friggin' troll.
Now let's get to the point of how we did that in that area. I'm going to close the quest out because I'm going to show you a little trick to find. When you've got a lot of dialogue, hit edit at the top of the creation kit and find text. And if you type in here, the reason you close out of the quest is because it reopens the quest when it finds it. So you hit find text. We know that this is my quest here, my quest ID. And then we click this, it will open up. So you don't got to search. It's very hard to search sometimes when you've got hundreds of lines of dialogue. So you'll see this highlighted here, and this is the one we just did. So I have this one at random as a check mark. You can see right here, the Battleborn farm. A woman named Gwendolyn lives here. So this is the important one of the location right here. So get in current location under this condition. Location, Battleborn farm location. So from here you open this up and you have a lot of areas that you could choose. Whatever you need to do. I'm going to cancel this back out because I've already got this set in the game in my mod. But that's what you choose. And then the next thing is your follower faction. Now I have Gellis she is in the vanilla follower faction, but a lot of people create their own follower faction. That's whatever your follower is in, you want to get in follower faction. That's on the subject. That means who's going to say it. And then the person who's going to say it is the get his ID. So from here you got get in location. So when she is in the location of the Battleborn farm location, get in faction, and her follower faction that you're using. Again, I just use the vanilla, and then the ID of the follower is going to say it. And that is it. It's really that simple. One other thing I tried to do at a minimum, and I'm going to have future tutorials on how to make her time aware, time of day, certain day, and everything else. But you can make it so she says at a certain time, and you'll see that in a future tutorial. Right now, this is requested to learn how to have different location dialogue. And we'll get into some more here. The next one we're going to get into, I put this at 24 hours. So the reason I put this at once every 24 hours, it won't be repeatedly said. So it will only be said once a day. That's a start. I have this at random. You can have this at say once, and once they say it, they'll never say it again. The problem with that is it works sometimes, and other times it's broken in the game because when you reload a save later on, it might come back up and say it again, if that matters to you. So I usually put it at random. I don't worry about the rest, and I have it set once every 24 hours. The next one we're going to do, and we'll jump back in, I'll show you how the next one is done. And you can use this for any location. Just open up this condition and choose your location from here. Once you get this done, you want to save. Remember, if you do go into game to try yours, make sure you've activated your ESP file. And of course, the quest is going to be running when you get in the game. Let's run. So, the next one I'm going to do, Gellis is a smartass. I'm a smartass. Even though I get a bunch of trolls coming to the videos half the time, and I just remove the videos, remove the comments that are all trolling because they don't like what she says. They think, oh, she used an F-bomb, or she said something nasty in a game that promotes murder. Whatever. Don't let people get to you. If you want to make your follower seem more realistic in how they say stuff in dialogue, you just put yourself in that follower. So the reason Gellis is sarcastic is because I'm very sarcastic. I find humor in a lot of dark things. So that's why I made her the way she is. And don't let, if someone comes along and she says a line in this woke fucking world that, oh, I didn't like that she said that, then tell them the solution. Remove your mod and don't use it. It's that simple. So the next place I'm going to take you for another example, and I'll show you how it's done, is inside of the Drunken Huntsman in Whiterun.
The two brothers that own this place seem like they have touched tips before.
So with that one, because I want it done inside the cell is going to be, the conditions are going to be a little bit different. So let's open that up. Now the first condition I have is get in cell. Whiterun, Drunken Huntsman. Set that as 1. Same as the other two. Follow a faction, whatever follow faction is set to 1, and the idea of whatever NPC or whatever follower you created is going to say it. That is it. I have this one right now set at say once, and I keep it there. When it's at say once, you can leave this as 0. Because I don't go into the Drunken Huntsman very often anyways, so usually I'll only hear it once throughout the game. And the next example I'm going to show you is inside War Maidens. Gallus is just sandboxing in there as you go in and you're shopping, and then she has some dialogue. I tried to bring her to life, and I'm going to do again a series of different tutorials of different things I've did with her. And so when she talks, she speaks about her past, like she's lived in the game before you got there. So here we go.
I have spent many of nights in here, drinking and talking with the blacksmith and her husband.
So opening up this dialogue was pretty much just like the last one. Get in cell, into War Maidens, follow a faction, and Gellus. This one's set at 24 hours and random. So that's pretty simple. The next one I'm going to go over, though, is one that I think was asked about, was like bandit location, giant camp, stuff like that, different camps. So when you make the next one, I'll explain it here in a bit after we go through. Let's jump to, I can't remember the name of the camp, but it's a giant location, giant camp location right outside of Whiterun.
What is that engraved in the giant's skin? And how do they do the engravings with those big fucking fingers?
So now let's jump into this dialogue. And this one's going to have a couple extra into it. So, get his ID, of course, is Gellus. You follow a faction. Now get in world space Tamriel. That basically means they're outside in the world space, not inside somewhere. Which a lot of the giant camps, I guess there's one cave in the Sleeping Tree Sap or something like that. But I always put this in when I want this to be said anytime they're in a location. The next one I'm going to go to is location has keyword. This one is important for a lot of them. The keyword you want is location giant camp. Now open this up and you're going to see so many different examples of everything. Now if you wanted location, a dwelling, up here if you were looking for bandit camp, location type bandit camp, wherever you want to put this. So whatever you're looking for, whatever dialogue you add, and this one is of course in the giant camp one, location giant camp. So go into here, close this one back out, and then this I'll get into later on. So what this says here, and I'm going to do a full tutorial on this. So the time in Skyrim, get current time, as you can see that, starts midnight is 0. Then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 24-hour military time. And so 12 is noontime. So what I did with this one is that you can see is greater than noontime, or 12 o'clock in the day, and less than 11 o'clock at night. So this will only be said between noontime and 11 o'clock at night. I'll do a tutorial very soon showing you why I use this and how to use it in a way to really add some realism to your follower. But that is the gist of this one. If you need to slow this down, I know a lot of this went fast, so you slow it down and check. Once you get used to doing this, you'll never forget it. It'll be very easy to make dialogue. So if you want to create a bunch of dialogue for bandit camps, or the location giant camp, once you get all these conditions right, then you can just, once you make one, like the one we just did, you could duplicate it or copy it, and it'll make a duplicate, and all the conditions will stay the same. But back into that real quick before we go. And this here, 24 hours. Random 24 hours, that's the other one. Random 24 hours, and these are the conditions that we just went over. Hope this helped, guys, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day.